Hey y'all, welcome to, or welcome back to another Freida vlog on our very bookish channel. Okay, so right now it is the very end of September, almost October, and y'all know Freida McFadden has a book coming out in October called The Boyfriend. I have been anticipating this book ever since The Teacher came out. I've mentioned this before, but I read the first couple of chapters of The Boyfriend that was like included in the Barnes & Noble edition of The Teacher, and I just loved the first couple of chapters. I love the setup of the book, so I have been highly anticipating this book. So in honor of celebrating the release of The Boyfriend, which is coming out in a few days for me, obviously it'll be out by the time y'all see this video, but really excited because we are also gonna be able to read The Crash, which is not coming out until January 28th of 2025. Jen and I were so lucky to be able to get digital arcs of The Crash, so we are so excited to be able to include that arc in this vlog. There will be absolutely no spoilers. We are not spoiling anything. We are not going to be giving anything away about this book except basic plot lines, which you can get from the description, and then our feelings about the book, what we are thinking, what we're feeling, and our opinions of the book. That's all. No spoilers for The Crash. We definitely don't want to do that since it's not coming out till January. So absolutely no spoilers for The Crash. We also got digital arcs of The Boyfriend, which we will also be reading, but The Boyfriend will be releasing just here in a couple of days, so we have that. Then the third book we're going to be reading for this vlog is going to be Surrogate Mother. I do not have my hands on a copy of Surrogate Mother yet. I'm hoping maybe I can get an ebook from Libby, or I might order it from Amazon. I hate to order I hate to order books from Amazon, so I try to find them in the store, but I know Surrogate Mother is not available in stores in a physical form, and I kind of hesitant to buy the physical form because I don't really like the cover. I think that book will probably get a cover redesign when it's released, so we'll see, but I'm just not gonna wait. I'm gonna check Libby when the time comes to see if we can get that book, but first we're gonna jump right into The Crash because we are both so ecstatic about getting an advanced copy of The Crash. And also during this video, I was thinking, since I'm going to be reading on my tablet a lot because I'll have The Crash, probably Surrogate Mother, and I do have the arc of The Boyfriend, so depending on how quickly I finish The Crash, I'll be starting the arc of The Boyfriend on here. I'm probably going to use my lovely stickers. Jen got me some vinyl stickers. Oh, I think I got a bunch of them up here. Let me see. Jen got me some really cute bookish stickers for my birthday, if you all missed that vlog. And I haven't had a chance to put them on my tablet yet. I know there's more stickers that are gonna fit on here, and I think for the Fourth Wing stickers, because I do have some like dragon and Fourth Wing themed stickers that I got. So excited. I'm actually gonna buy another cover and just have an entire maybe Fourth Wing themed cover for my tablet so I can switch back and forth. So those are my plans for that. So hopefully at some point in this vlog, I'll be able to sit down and decorate my tablet cover here and add some more lovely stickers that I got for my birthday. Another thing I've been really wanting to do, and I've been kind of waiting for the weather to get colder, is I really want to burn my candle. Jen also got me a candle for my birthday, and it's a surprise candle. You burn it down, and then there's going to be a dragon on the inside, and it's going to reveal a color which will let you know what dragon you get. So super excited for this. I cannot wait to start burning this. It smells so good. It smells citrusy, which is like my favorite scents. I love the smells of lemons and limes and oranges, sometimes grapefruit, so very citrusy. I love it. And I've been kind of waiting for the weather to get cooler just to get more of the vibe for the need of the candles. So maybe we'll be burning that. If not, probably in a vlog later this month. Okay, without further ado, I cannot wait any longer. I'm gonna be jumping right on in to The Crash. And to be honest, y'all, I have no idea what this book is about. I haven't even read the synopsis because it's not coming out till January. So I really didn't think I would need to be worried about it yet, but since I did get the ARC, so excited. So I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. Obviously the cover is very cool. I love this cover, and there's a car on a snowy road. So there you go. And I'm assuming it means the car crashes, but I have no idea where or who or why, any of that. So really excited, just jumping into this completely blind, just making assumptions based on the title and the cover.
Wish I could have recorded my squeal and reaction when Amanda texted me and said I had to go to Edelweiss because a new Freida McFadden was on there. This Freida McFadden is not even out until next year. And I'm in the Freida McFadden's group on Facebook, and I did see people were getting copies of it, but it looked like physical copies. And Mandy, who is the publisher assistant or publisher director, whatever the role is, was on there. She had to go on because she was getting bombarded with requests because Freida shares her email on there. And she had to do like almost like crowd control and tell people, this is how I'm going to be doing the galleys. They call them galleys too, ARCs. They're advanced reading copies. But I just could not believe, because it sounded like we weren't going to be able to get any ARCs of The Crash. We never got anything for The Boyfriend, which comes out very shortly, in a few days. So obviously I'm going to be doing this video for that, and I just had to record because I'm just super, super excited, and I could give Amanda a hug. I am just so excited. She's a literal genius is what I texted her back, because she checked on Edelweiss. Typically NetGalley is where I guess Freida is usually seen to get ARCs, but for whatever reason Amanda decided to check Edelweiss. And I raced. I literally like tripped over myself to get my tablet. And I got the ARC copy of The Crash. I'm right now reading it. Here it is. It's literally on my device. I am probably gonna stay up tonight and try and finish this. That's how excited I am. So instead of starting with The Boyfriend, I am starting with this one. And we are also doing The Boyfriend, and I'm gonna have to decide what other third one to do with it. I just can't think right now. I think we're doing Surrogate Mother. You're gonna come along with me, and I won't give spoilers, but come along with me as I read The Crash. Not even out until next year. Amanda, I love you. Aww. I am flying through it. I'm up to chapter 14, but it is 300 some pages. I don't think I'm going to be able to stay up tonight and read it. I do got to work tomorrow, though I really want to stay up and read it. So if you don't want to know what it's about, I would say this is the part you should skip ahead. But so far, the premise is Tegan. She's a young 20-something. She's pregnant under some questionable circumstances that you kind of find out, but I have a feeling you're going to end up finding out more and more and more. And it's a situation where she may be getting hush money, but something happens that makes her want to go see her brother. And that's where the crash happens, is on her way to see her brother. And someone shows up to quote unquote save her, since I don't know yet what's going to happen, since that literally just happened, where this man she doesn't know picks her up and is seemingly going to save her. So I am very interested to see what happens next, because I don't know if the story now is going to turn into this guy who, quote unquote, again, is saving her, may end up being some kind of nefarious character, maybe tied to all of the information you already found out about how she got pregnant. Let's see what happens. I'll be back to give you an update.
All right, y'all, I have made it to part 2. And I am loving this book so far. I have found Tegan is the main character, and she's a 23-year-old woman who is pregnant, and I'm not giving any more details than that. There is some details about it. The description of the book, I did go read the description, so I wanted to make sure I didn't give anything away that's not in the description of the book. So, Tegan's the main character. You're getting her point of view. She's a 23-year-old pregnant woman. She's like 8 months pregnant. And you get a lot of information about her and her current situation with the pregnancy and everything. And it's been really good. It has been very fast-paced as usual. I mean, y'all know Freida books are fast-paced, but it's been very interesting. There's been a few revelations. I wouldn't say they're necessarily twists, but there's been some revelations about her. And I'm ready to jump into part 2. And part 2 says it's the day before the crash. So you're jumping back a little bit. And I was scrolling down, I'm at chapter 20, and you're getting another person's point of view. So that's all I'm gonna say. The whole first part was Tegan's point of view, and part 2 starting off with you're introduced to a new point of view perspective of the story. So switching point of views, I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen.
I just started to read and I just got this feeling, and sometimes I feel like Freida is guiding us or pushing us to think a certain thing, keep us away from the real plot twists and kind of bait us, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I do feel this, I have a theory as to what might happen with Polly and Tegan, given some information we were just read. It could be a trap to make me think it, but I have a feeling it's going to happen. And I don't want to say it because then if I'm right, it's a spoiler either way. If I'm right, then you guys will know it. If I'm wrong, then you know that didn't happen. So I'm not going to say it, but I have a theory. We'll see if I'm right or not. I flew through the book. I didn't even record because I just kept reading, and many twists. I'm trying to think if I kind of was right on one of the things that I was guessing, but then classic Freida, she twisted things up. So I always feel like I'm partially right on things that I'm guessing with hers, and I always anticipate something else is going to switch things up at the end. And of course, she has many twists, many things come at you. I very much enjoyed it. And I give all of her books, like all of her books to me are like 4.5 stars. I feel very lucky that I had a chance to read that so early since it's not out to next year. Those are the first Freida advanced reading copies I've had that either of us have, and I feel very, very lucky that we got those on Edelweiss. So now on to the next.
Page 321 of 386, so just 60-ish more pages to go. And this book has been kind of crazy. It's not, I wouldn't say there's been like a whole lot of surprising twists in this book, but it has been a little intense. I'm not gonna lie. There was one part of the book where I was legitimately so scared for Tegan, the main point of view character. I mean, I'm scared for her always, but it's because she's in a not good situation. But like this one scene in particular really had me scared. Like it was almost like reading a horror book. I was like, oh my gosh. But now it appears that there could be some hope for Tegan. And but I know there are twists coming. And this is still a Freida book after all, and I'm really liking this book so far. I just find myself like can't wait to read it, want to finish it. It's reading very easy and just feels like just a really great book. There are 2 point of views so far. There's only been 2. Sometimes Freida will slip in like a 3rd point of view or another point of view towards the end of her books, but so far there's only been 2, which is nice. And there are different parts in the book, and I haven't really been able to assess what the different parts are. I think the first part is Tegan's point of view. The second part is another point of view of a character in the book, and then parts 3, 4, 5 are, I think, the days that go by. The 2nd day, 3rd day, 4th day. I think. I haven't really been paying that much attention. I think that's how the parts are laid out in the book, and I'm just really liking it. I just think this book has kind of a dark feel. It has like a kind of scary feel, and it just seems like even though this is going to be perfect to read in January when the weather's really cold and you might have snow on the ground outside your house, but it also feels like this book should have come out in October to read around Halloween time, because it's got those vibes. It's got those vibes. So I'm going to sit here. I think I'll be able to finish it before I have to leave the park. So I'm going to sit here and try to finish the book, and then I will let you all in on my final thoughts and start reading The Boyfriend. So also cannot wait for The Boyfriend. I have been really highly anticipating that book, so I feel like that book is going to be more a typical twisty Freida McFadden thriller. So we'll see. But first, I'm going to finish this, and then I will be back with you guys with final thoughts. Hey y'all, I know that I said final thoughts would be the next time I check in, but I guess I lied, because I want to say something very quickly. I'm at the epilogue, and I am not a fan of epilogues. I'm just not. I just feel like when the book's over, I'm just usually ready for it to be over, and I don't want to have to keep reading and reading what happens like a year or 2 later down the road. I would just rather the author write it as part of the ending of the book. However, in Freida books, there's usually, in fact, every time I think I've read an epilogue in a Freida book, there has been a twist. So I actually don't mind the epilogues in Freida's books, and in fact, there's a very memorable, for me, a very memorable epilogue in Never Lie, and that was one of my favorite Freida McFadden books. And I remember in one of the first Freida McFadden books I read, but I just remember that epilogue and the twist in that epilogue and was like, oh my gosh. So I just want to jump on here and say there is an epilogue in this book, but I'm really looking forward to reading it. I'm sure it won't be long, because, you know, the Freida McFadden chapters are pretty short and manageable. So I am going to be finishing the book, and I will definitely, the next time I check in will be final thoughts. All right, I am back with final thoughts on The Crash. This book felt so different than any of the other Freida books I have read. It was very dark. It was very horrifying in some parts of the book. I'm trying to think if there was a darker Freida book that I've read as far as like the vibes and the tone and the horrifying aspects, and I really don't think so. I think Do Not Disturb was a kind of dark book, but this book I liked better than Do Not Disturb. I just thought this book was fantastic. The only thing I can think of, like the only maybe semi-complaint, which is not even really a complaint, when you get to part 2, you switch point of views. you're getting another character point of view, so you kind of stall the story for the main character. And I don't mean stall as in you just don't hear about her, but I mean like her situation, let's say, is kind of the same, okay, for a little bit of time in the book. There's not really much changing with her, and you're getting more backstory from another character in the book, which is fine. I appreciate that, but it just felt to me a little bit slower. And again, that's probably just a personal thing with me. But that's just like something that I felt about the book, like one little tiny gripe that I might have, or like maybe one suggestion for improvement is maybe make something else happen during that point in the book, just to keep the pace up. But very, very fun Freida book. I really enjoyed this book. Like I said, it's darker. It didn't feel like a Freida book where there wasn't just constant twist, but you do get kind of some like shocking little moments. I wouldn't say they're like twist in the story, but you are kind of like a couple of times, and there are twists at the end. And true to form, in the prologue, even in the prologue, you get an additional person's point of view. So a point of view you've never read before in the book. She throws an extra point of view in there, and there is another revelation, another secret revealed, just tying up another little could be potential plot hole in the book. But Freida ties it up nicely. Smoochie! My camera! You pulled the light and knocked my camera. Yeah. What are you doing? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And Smoochie is insisting on sitting in my lap and being a part of this video. So here she is. Woo. She's gonna be a big girl. What you got? You got it. She's gonna be such a big girl. She's almost a year old, you guys. Almost 1 whole year old. She'll be a year old in just a couple of days. Yeah, I'm sure sweet. Anyways, I forget even what I was saying, but this book felt very different than most Freida books, and I just loved it. I feel like Freida keeps reinventing herself. She is not becoming a predictable author. She's not becoming stagnant. She's still coming out with like good book ideas and good book synopsis and fun characters and twists and revelations throughout her books, true to the thriller genre. I just feel like Freida is one of the best thriller authors that I have read. I enjoy her books so much, and the fact that she keeps putting out so many and they're all very different, and she keeps like coming out with something new and something different. I just can really appreciate all of the hard work and talent that goes behind putting these books together, and I just keep looking forward to more Freida books coming out. So y'all, if you like Freida books, even if you don't, this book, like I said, is a little different. If you've had some problems with Freida books in the past or something, I would say give this one a try when it comes out in January. I highly recommend it. Now, the only problem is when this comes out in January and we do a Freida vlog, I don't know what books we're going to read. I mean, maybe she'll surprise us with another novella or something fun like that, but who knows? That'll be a problem for January, but put this one on your radar for sure.
I'm back, and I'm on to book 2 of our Freida vlog. Originally, I had mentioned that we have Edelweiss ARC copies, but by the time we read through The Crash, The Boyfriend is out for sale. And I did sign up for a signed copy, but I'm not getting that until next week. So of course, because I'm more of a physical book reader, I bought a copy, even though I know I'm getting an autographed copy. But I figure after I read this one, I can put in a little free library or do something with it. And the next one will just be like a collectible book that I can add to my shelf. I couldn't help it. I really shouldn't be reading this one because we are still finishing our Lisa Unger vlog because we're a little behind. I couldn't help myself. I am often looking at the Facebook Freida group, and though I'm not seeing any spoilers, people keep talking about it, saying how much they love it, raving about it. I haven't seen anything negative. There were a couple people, and it made me laugh because Freida pokes fun of it in her satire short novel that she did. But there were people that just posted, and they weren't kidding, because I was reading the comments saying, I figured it out. I figured it out early. And there were other people in the comments saying, there's no way you figured this out. So it's all over the board in terms of what's going on. Now, I have read over 100 pages, and something that happens towards the beginning was making me think of this movie. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, and I don't want to turn into one of those people that think I have it figured out, because I already know with Freida, even if I think I figured something out, it's usually just a portion of everything that she has planned out. She has so many twists and turns. There's no way I would be able to ever figure out every single twist that she has. I do think she might be doing something from that I saw in this movie. I'll explain later, maybe, because that might be a spoiler. But there's a movie that I saw years ago. I want to say it's in the 2000s, maybe. And it has Jennifer Lopez. And may also be about domestic abuse, but how she meets her husband in there. I feel like Freida might be doing something twist-wise, how that movie had a twist. So we'll see. I'm going to, and that's all I'm going to say. So if you want to look it up yourself and figure out if that's something that could be what's going on here, or if you've read it and know the twist ending and go and look at that movie, who knows? But I have a feeling even if she used something like that, I don't think that's going to be the full extent of what's going on. So I'm about 100 pages into this, and there are two viewpoints that you're getting. Tom, who keeps talking about, and he's like in high school, and he keeps talking about his girlfriend Daisy, and there's a missing girl. He had been tutoring that missing girl, but we don't know everything that's going on with that yet. And then current day Sydney, and every time I hear Sydney, I am a fan of the Scream franchise, so I keep thinking of Ghostface and saying Sydney. It's making me laugh because it's October and it's Halloween. Sydney is dating, and she has a couple friends, and a murder happens. I'm not going to say who or give that away. We don't know more details about that, but she sees a guy. She's been on the dating app, and then she ends up running into a guy in real life, not from the app. And he seems like he's too good to be true, basically. And I'm thinking he might be, but I also feel like that's always a twist, and it may not end up being him. We'll see. Because Freida, as I said, is queen of the twist. I'm not going to get into any theories, but that's what's going on with this right now, is you're seeing Sydney and then Tom, who is, it keeps saying before. Now, I don't know if it's the same Tom, but there is a Tom that ends up in the Sydney present. I feel like it might be a trick. I keep thinking of the ex. I feel like I'm reading the ex again, and she's going to have some crazy twists that there's no way I'm going to be able to see coming. But we'll see. We'll see, and I will give you guys an update. I don't know how fast I'm going to go through this. I want to finish it today. Oh, great. My bookmark just fell out. And I'm using the Freida bookmark that I got from Etsy. Luckily, I knew what page I was on. I will let you guys know more updates. If anything crazy happens, I will react in real time, especially if something crazy happens, and let you guys know. I will see you back soon.
So now that the crash is out of the way, the boyfriend has been released. Yes, I did get an art copy, but I wanted to go out and buy my own copy because I saw it at the store and I just couldn't resist. Plus, I prefer reading physical books. I don't really have a problem reading digital books, but I just prefer the physical copies to read and hold in my hands, especially like a big kind of floppy paperback. So even though this isn't like a super big paperback, this isn't mass market. I don't like the mass market paperbacks, the little ones, little thick ones, but these ones are fine. And I have to confess something. When the cover was revealed for the boyfriend, Jen texted me a picture of it. Like, oh my gosh, this is the cover for the boyfriend. And I didn't like it. I kind of busted on it a little bit. I was like, this looks like a romance novel. I do not think this is a great cover for a thriller, but seeing it in person and holding the book in my hand, it's kind of growing on me. It is growing on me a little bit. I am starting to like it. I do think though, to be honest with you, there needs to be more blood. There's a little bit of blood down here. You can see this is like a tie on a bed with some pillows, and there's a little bit of blood down here. But I feel like there needs to be splatter somewhere. Like there needs to be splatter on the pillows, or the tie needs to be like just a different shade, maybe a lighter shade, just so the dark blood would stand out a little bit more. I don't know. What do y'all think? I really hated this cover when I first saw it, but now that I'm holding it in my hand and seeing it in person on a book, I kind of like it. I like the grays and the shading, and I kind of like it. It's growing on me, okay? It's growing on me, all right? I'm allowed to change my mind, okay? But anyways, let's get into this. Smoochie is still on my lap right here. She is just down here making her smoochy noises. Since she's stuck to me, she'll probably come join me on the couch where I do my reading and probably cuddle me while I start reading. So let's just go. Let's jump into it. I cannot wait another minute. Chapter 17, which is page 109. And so far, the book's going really good. You're following Sydney in present day, and she's a single 34-year-old woman living in New York City. Of course, her mom's pressuring her to find a man, get married, have babies. Her mom's constantly talking about, oh, my friend had a baby at 38, so you still have 4 years, you know, that kind of thing. So she is just trying to make it in New York City and find a good man. And she's on this dating app called Cinch. And I guess Cinch is a dating app that is exclusive to New York City. Like you have to live in New York City to be able to get this app. So it's like for New Yorkers to find each other. And she used to have a serious boyfriend, but they've broken up, and she is moving on trying to find a good guy, and she's gone on a bad date that it was terrible with a real jerk. Well, I won't go into details about that, but he was just a real jerk. And you're also getting the point of view of a high schooler named Tom, and it just says before. So like on this chapter it says present day, Tom's chapters say before. So this all is happening when he's in high school, and this is before the Sydney situation. You don't know exactly how long ago, but you just know that it was in the past. He has a weird friend that is kind of socially unaccepted at the school. He seemingly is very awkward. He's very tall and skinny, and he eats bugs. And he's just kind of awkward, but he's Tom's best friend. And Tom is seems to be charming. He seems to be very charming and good looking, but he has these dark ideas in his head. And it's not just like a person that has a bad dream, you know, like sometimes you might have a nightmare and you're thinking to yourself, how is that in my head? That's scary. But he has these like fantasies about hurting people. So he's got some kind of dark dark things going on there, but he is interested in a girl named Daisy, and he is trying to get her to be his girlfriend, and it's just kind of the awkward stage, you know, that young kids go through in those situations and in high school. So you're following him. I'm not really finding his point of view as fun as Sydney's, of course. I'm more drawn in and interested in what Sydney's going through. So, but Tom's point of view is fine. I know it's like you're building a lot of background on this character, and you're wondering how their lives are gonna intersect, you know, how like the past events are gonna run into the present events, and I'm starting to like come up with theories on that. But right now I'm just really enjoying Sydney's point of view and following her life as a single 34-year-old in New York City. So we'll see. We'll keep reading, and I will give you some more updates as I get them.
I have read another 100 pages, and I feel like it's almost obvious that you are being led to think that the Tom that Sydney is dating, Mr. Perfect, her boyfriend, is definitely the same that you're seeing from the before, who's in high school and dating Daisy. And I also feel like you're being led to believe that Tom is the missing boyfriend of the woman who was murdered. But I have a feeling there's going to be plot twists that those things aren't true. I don't know what's going on. I don't feel like I have a theory. I'm just kind of along for the ride at this point. But if that is the whole thing, then that is predictable. And I highly doubt it because it's Freida. So I don't feel like that's going to be what it is. I had this feeling for some reason, because she tends to do this. I was thinking about this. I feel in most of her books, the women tend to be who's behind things. Like they tend to be evil. And I was thinking, I wonder if that Daisy girl had something to do with what's going on back then. I don't think she would have anything to do with what's going on present day with Sydney, but that's the only thing that I was thinking of. As much as I don't want to say that because of spoilers, I just won't say if I'm right or not later. I'm going to keep going. I don't have much more to read. I don't think I'm going to get it done tonight, but I might tomorrow because it's going really fast. So I'll be back with more thoughts. I forgot to mention that the book, it's the exclusive edition, but it has like raised letters, but also raised blood on here. And I didn't realize that at first. And I had touched it and I thought something had gotten on there, like I had done that. And then I realized it's part of the cover. And then on the next page is like a cracked screen with blood from a text exchange. And I think every book from wherever you purchase from has a different type of exclusive. I saw online that Walmart has one that has a picture on the inside cover, so I'm actually kind of interested to see what that one is. So I may stop at Walmart to check that one out. But I just wanted to show you guys the cover if you haven't seen the Barnes & Noble one.
All right, y'all. It's the next day. Okay. I just got to page 162. We are in Tom's point of view, which is the high school kid. And, oh my gosh. His point of view just got way more interesting to me. There has been something, I wouldn't say tragic, but something horrible that's happened. And oh my gosh, I didn't really, you can kind of tell that's where the book was going, but just the fact, even though you know it's coming, when it gets here, it's kind of like a little bit shocking, you guys. I know you know what I mean. I know you know what I mean. Okay. Just wanted to jump on here and say that real quick. I am getting more and more interested in Tom's point of view as the book progresses. And I'm really enjoying the book so far. I'm gonna just keep reading. All right, I am just 4 or 5 more chapters. I think we had a couple of chapters from Sydney's point of view, and I'm back again with Tom's point of view. And I just had an idea for these characters and how they're going to, I guess, cross paths with Sydney in present day. I haven't got all the details nailed down yet, but I kind of think I know what's going to happen. I kind of have a prediction, and I'm just not sure. There's something with, so on Tom's point of view, there's 2 female characters, and that are in the book right now, and I'm just like, I'm not sure which one of them fits my theory better, but we're gonna keep reading. I just wanted to let y'all know that I do have a theory, and I'm usually wrong, probably wrong, but I just can't help it. And I honestly try not to think of theories, but I can't help it. I can't, when I'm reading the book, putting the pieces together, I can't not do that. I don't know how to read a thriller and not make predictions or start putting pieces together. So we'll see. I'm just gonna keep reading, but I am formulating a theory here. Okay. Just a few more chapters later, I don't know, maybe like 20 pages later, we're back in Tom's point of view. And my theory still holds, but one of the girls that I was considering for the theory, I think, is going to be taken out of the equation. So, my overall theory, I feel like, is still on track, but now it's not, I don't have to figure out which girl it's going to be. There's only one option left. But unless, hold on. Unless, oh, I don't want to say it because now I don't know what to think. All right, we'll see. I just got to keep reading. Okay, I'm just going to keep reading. I'm trying not to overthink it, just going to keep going. But I am really enjoying this book so far.
I finished, and I wish I could have recorded right after a big twist, because I had been reading before work and I didn't have that much more to go, and I knew it was gonna be, things were gonna be revealed like any page, and I thought, well, I'll take it with me to work and I'll read it on my break. And I don't tend to do that because sometimes for me, getting sucked into a book, it's so much torture only having like that small amount of time to read, like on a break or during a lunch, and it makes it harder to go back to work, in my opinion. So I don't tend to torture myself. I think I'll just, read when I get home. I don't typically read on breaks. Amanda had texted me that she had finished it last night, and she said the words, she felt it was predictable. And I thought, oh man, that means that, and I'm not going to spoil, but I thought, oh, that means that predictable was what you're being led to was actually going to be what the result is, or who the killer was. And I felt, I had like a sub theory that, oh, I bet this is what it's going to be. When she said predictable, I was like, well, I guess that's what it's going to be. And I wasn't as excited. And I don't think she intended to do that so that I would be that much more surprised. And she didn't answer me when I said, because I ended up reading the twist on my break and I was shocked because I did not guess it fully. I should say I didn't guess it fully because I did have a kind of thought that maybe this was going to happen, because knowing Freida, I just had a feeling like maybe she'll do this. But even in my guess, I wasn't fully right. And I really didn't think that was going to happen anyway, especially after Amanda said it was predictable, because my guess wasn't predictable, in my opinion. So I don't know how Amanda could, like, what the twist actually is. I don't believe she guessed that. I would want to have her prove, her writing it down. And I don't mean guess it like 2 to 3 pages before you get the twist. Anyone can guess that. I mean, I shouldn't say anyone, because I didn't really guess it right before the twist anyway. When I think people call something predictable, I would say within the first 10 to 20%, you know what the ending is. And if you can tell me after 10 to 20% you were able to predict that twist, then you need to play the lottery or something, because there's no way. There's no way. It's just like the X. That one, again, was just like mind-boggling to me, that twist. And even Freida herself said she didn't even guess the twist, and she wrote it. I mean, she was being cheeky, but there's this twist just was surprising in my opinion. And I think especially when you're told that it's predictable, because I did not think that was predictable at all. And I've seen a couple people on both Goodreads and Facebook say it was predictable. And I was like, how are you? I don't understand. Like, to me, it just didn't seem, there are a couple things in this book that were predictable. I would not say the major twist was one of them. The other thing I was thinking about when I was driving to work, because I was reading some before my shift, I feel that in her interview she did with John Mars, she was talking about how her daughter would say she is very much into girl power and girl empowerment. But I feel like the heroine in here, well, I don't know if I would call her a heroine, but the main character, Sydney, I feel like she's written like she's not smart. And I feel like sometimes Freida does that with her female characters, where they're just doing some things that don't feel very smart. And I feel like that's not a true portrayal of what a woman would do. At least I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure people out there sometimes can be naive and do things because they're not fully thinking. But I feel like, especially in this book, she makes Sydney at certain points just be too naive or something. It just doesn't feel like a strong woman character. And I'm not going to say anything else because I don't know if I feel that way after finishing. I feel like it was worse before, like mid to almost towards the end. And I don't know how much I feel that's as strongly after having finished it. Anyway, I was shocked. I'm fully finished. And, you know, obviously Freida has the many twists at the end. It's not just the main twist. She had other things that happened. And yeah, I was kind of thrown for a loop on this one. I would put this in the ballpark of the X, to be honest. That's how shocked I was. And I wish I could have recorded on my break and I actually texted Amanda on my break. And I said, there is no way you guessed that. So I don't know if she never answered me. I don't know if she was being funny or, you know, whatever you want to call it. Like if she was just saying that sarcastically, because I can't see anyone guessing that twist or saying it's predictable. I mean, I guess someone could guess it like a far-fetched, like, oh, maybe this will happen, but I wouldn't call it predictable. So we're on to our last Freida book, which is going to be Surrogate Mother. I have to read something before I finish that. I had jumped ahead with The Crash and The Boyfriend because I wanted to read them so much, and I need to finish the Lisa Unger vlog. So before I get into Surrogate Mother, I'm going to finish Lisa Unger, and I'll be back to let you know about Surrogate Mother.
All right, y'all. I finished The Boyfriend last night. Wow. I really liked this book. I do think it was a more predictable Freida McFadden book, but I didn't mind that. I didn't care. I just really liked this book. I loved these characters. I love the world, the vibes of this world that Freida painted. I really liked Sydney. I liked the fact she was like single in New York City. I honestly love New York City as a setting. I just find that city fascinating, and I really like it when it's the setting in books, because there's just so many things you can do with a big city like that, especially New York with all of its history, and it has like Gothic buildings, but then there's very modern buildings, and there's lots of variety of people there. So I really like the setting of New York City. So I really enjoyed Sydney's point of view and her story in this book. And towards the end of the book, I really, really started liking Tom's point of view and was able to kind of piece this novel together. But overall, fantastic book. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's one of my favorites now. I mean, I don't know if I'd put it above Never Lie or above The Housemaid 3, but it's pretty far up there. I really, really liked The Crash too that I read before this one. I really liked that. Both of these books were really good. I am really, really enjoying the new Freida reads. And now, like I mentioned before, I'm kind of sad now because in January when The Crash comes out, I've already read it. So I don't know what I'm gonna read, but really, really liked this book, really liked The Crash. We are going to be moving on to Surrogate Mother, which again is a book I know nothing about. Judging by the title, The Surrogate Mother, it's probably some kind of family drama or domestic thriller, I'm guessing, obviously. But I need to track it down. I'm going to check Libby. I'm going to have to do this one on my tablet because I'm ready to read it now and I don't have the physical copy. So then I have to put down my physical copy and get back on my tablet. I also wanted to show you all my little bookmark that I love so much. Jen got me this, and it's a wooden bookmark, and it has all of Freida's books on it up until The Boyfriend. Doesn't have The Crash on it, but it has all of her books up until The Boyfriend. So I love looking through the titles and remembering all of the books that I've read while I'm reading a Freida book. So I just wanted to show you all that. And in the video where I opened my gift for this, we do have a link to the store that this was bought in. So I will link that video down in the description if you guys want, and then you can go to that video and then get the links for this bookmark if you're interested in it. Okay, so moving on to The Surrogate Mother, I'm gonna go get my tablet and find a copy of that somehow and start reading. All right, y'all, I just wanted to share with you, just on a whim, I looked for The Surrogate Mother on Edelweiss, and it looks like they are going to be redoing the cover. It says, I can show you here. This is the Freida McFadden book. It says the cover will be revealed up here in the white, and it says the release date is going to be August 5th, 2025. So they are redoing the cover, and they are going to release the book physically at stores soon. Well, not soon, but in August. So it is coming out in August. So I can't wait to see what the cover redesign for that one's going to look like.
I've moved on to The Surrogate Mother. I am about 100 pages in, and it already feels different than the other books that we have read by Freida. And this one's about Abigail, who has really had a hard time trying to conceive with her husband, who happens to be, I guess, a really hot teacher. I have a feeling already, and I hate when this happens, where I already start to formulate like an opinion as to what's going to happen. And I just have this feeling that the surrogate is in cahoots with the husband. And I shouldn't say theories on here because it's not like I can say if I'm right at the end unless we just put spoiler on it. So I'm not going to be telling you if I'm right later, but I already just felt like that's going to end up being a thing. But I already got past who ends up being her surrogate, and things start happening where Abigail, who is the one who is trying to conceive, and she's around the woman that is the surrogate, and already some shady things are happening and things she's picking up that she's noticing and don't seem to be adding up, or she's just getting kind of suspicious and jealous. I don't know where this is going. I have a feeling I know where it's going, but we'll see. I'll give you an update. I have a feeling this one's going to go really fast because I am reading at a very fast clip. I will be back with more thoughts. Okay, I can't stop reading this. It's going really fast, as I knew it would, and it's just, I really want to know what's going to happen. Yes, that's Grogu behind me. I'm sitting among some laundry that I should be putting away, but this has a grasp on me. it's the same with all of Freida's books. You just want to know what's happening. And if some of your guesses that you think you know what's happening is actually happening. I feel like sometimes you're led down a path and you're pushed down a certain thought avenue, and I don't ever trust it because I feel like she's just trying to trick us. So I'm starting to think that some of my theory that I was guessing may not be right, that there's some twist that's coming. So we'll see. I have a feeling I'm going to finish it and then I'll just see you in final thoughts. So I'm going to keep reading.
Hey y'all, reading update time. I am on chapter 23. And so far, this book's getting really good. I wouldn't say, even though we're halfway through the book, I wouldn't say there's been a lot going on plot-wise. It's basically just about this couple that is really having a hard time having a baby, and they really want a baby. They've tried adoption, they've tried medical procedures to help, they have tried everything, and the woman is getting really desperate. So her assistant that's currently working for her, she works in a big firm, and her assistant working for her says, hey, you know what? I could be your surrogate mother. So at first she's kind of like, no, but then she starts thinking about it, and she thinks this is her only way. Like, she thinks they have to do this, and she convinces her husband to go along with it and do it. So they decide to move forward with this surrogate mother situation, and her assistant that is her surrogate mother is acting kind of weird. She's kind of not doing the things she said she would do. She's kind of backing out of things they agreed to. So not really a whole lot moving forward with the plot, but you are getting like so many, it's like just fun to read about all these little situations and little things these characters find themselves in, and you're just getting Abby's point of view so far. It's only been Abby, so you're only getting the point of view of the woman who really wants to have a baby, and her struggles that she's been going through. So that's really all that I have for right now. I am at my library because I need to find I need to find a horror book written in the 90s that I want to read. Jen and I are doing a Halloween challenge for the month of October, and my husband picked a prompt that we need to read a horror book written in the 90s. And I don't know, I'm having a hard time finding one I really want to read. So I just thought I would go to my library and browse the books and check the copyright dates on some of these and see if I can find one that was originally written in the 90s. Of course, probably by now, if they're still in print, then they're probably like redone, but you can tell, like on the copyright page, it will say like first print run, and it'll give you a copyright date, and it will be the year. So I'm hoping to find one of those written in the 90s. So we'll see. Let's go in here. I also was thinking, since I'm reading on my tablet, I might try to decorate my cover with the vinyl stickers that Jen got me for my birthday. So we'll see. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to look for books. I'm going to try to redecorate the cover for my tablet that I do all my reading on. So it is time to finally update the stickers on my tablet. I'm really excited about this.
is time for the conclusion of another Freida vlog. This one, I feel I was more excited than any other just because we finally got advanced reading copies of The Crash and technically of The Boyfriend, though it was right before it came out, so I ended up buying it anyway. I'm still expecting my signed copy that I had signed up for because she had the interview with John Mars with Barnes & Noble, and when you signed up, you get a signed copy sent to you afterwards. And I haven't gotten it yet. I was hoping to get it before I finished recording for this video, but I'm sure we'll do another Freida vlog sooner or later. She did just announce, I thought she was going to announce another book coming out because she kept teasing that she has big news. And it ended up being that she had news of The Housemaid being made into a movie. The actresses Sydney Sweeney is going to be in it, and I'm forgetting the other actress. I can picture her. She was in Mean Girls, but I am forgetting her name, but I can put it on the screen, and that's the other actress, and I can put a picture because it's been blowing up on social media that the cast have been set, as well as the director, which is Paul Feig, and he is known for some big movies that I can't remember at the minute. Again, I can put on the screen. I am excited to see The Housemaid as a movie. I think that would be a very interesting one to see as a movie. I would love to see many of these as a movie, and I'm sure as popular as she's becoming, I think she's going to have many more coming out down the road. Since The Housemaid has sequels to it, I'm sure if this movie does well, they may end up doing the sequels to those as well. Final thoughts because you guys didn't see the end, I had just recorded and then raced through the end of this one, so I didn't record again. I just jumped to final thoughts, and I thought this was a solid book. There were very frustrating things about this one. I feel sometimes, I've said in earlier parts of this vlog, that I feel sometimes when she is writing women characters, they just don't always seem so bright, and I feel like it doesn't represent women well all the time. But I think what she's trying to do, based on what I've seen her say in interviews and what she says on her Facebook group, I think she's just showing relatable characters of things. She said a lot of her characters, flaws and quirks, are based on herself, that she feels like she makes mistakes all the time. And I don't think she's trying to show women as not bright or not smart. I think she's trying to show them as relatable and an everyday woman. But I also feel like she, especially in this one, I feel like she ends up showing some women characters that are evil and up to no good. I mean, many of her books are like that. Coworker, teacher, I pretty much every single one. And it's usually not even just one. There's usually multiple women that are just evil and causing chaos, and it's just bad. So of the three, in terms of what my favorite, I feel like it's a toss-up between The Boyfriend and The Crash. I loved both for different reasons. I loved the twist in this one. Obviously, I feel like with Freida, there's never just one twist. There was one big twist in this one that really got me. And I feel like it was very similar to how I felt with The Ex, which is my favorite one. So this one I felt that made this one shoot up towards the top because of that. And The Crash didn't really have that it felt different for her. I think Amanda said she felt like there was a misery vibe in it because of what happens with the main character in that one. But I felt like it was a little different. I feel that one of the reasons why I really liked it. So it's kind of a tie between The Crash and The Boyfriend of my favorite ones. This one was it's a solid book. I wouldn't say I didn't like it. There was a couple where I feel are at the bottom of the books from Freida, and Do Not Disturb is towards the bottom for me. I wasn't a big fan. And what's funny is I think Never Lie is one of Amanda's favorites, but I feel there was a couple reasons why I feel like that one I didn't like as much, and that one ends up being towards the bottom. I think there, to me, it felt like there were a couple things that just didn't make sense in that one or something. It's been a while since I read it, so I don't remember. But overall, I love all of Freida's books, so it doesn't matter. I really have a hard time when we are picking like, which one did we like the best or anything like that, because I just enjoy reading her books. I feel like she does have relatable characters in them, and it's just, I feel the way she writes, I was thinking about this when I was reading this one, is just how she describes things, and it almost puts you into this lull. Like when you're reading it, she goes into depth of describing like almost mundane things. And that might seem boring to some people, but I feel like the reason why her readers like it so much is because she's speaking to things we all experience every day. We all experience a huge part of each one of these books, be it when you're working with someone and you have like petty jealousy of other women, and just things that happen in our day-to-day life end up being described really well in her books.
I have finished The Surrogate Mother, and I just want to say real quick, I know you guys already saw, but look how cute my tablet is now. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed. So cute. I just love it so much. I think it's so cute. So it's so much more fun now to read on my tablet. I'm sure it'll wear off, but I love all the stickers that I got and how I decorated it. I just think it's adorable. Anyways, The Surrogate Mother. That book, I was surprised actually how much I really liked that book. I went into this book not knowing anything about it, but I really don't enjoy books that have children in thrillers. So I was just nervous about there being a baby involved in this craziness. And speaking of craziness, I got little Primrose running up here. Going crazy. But it was actually really good. I just, sometimes when it comes to missing children in books, if they're missing for most of the book or a lot of the book, and I just get so anxious, and not a good anxious. You know, there's a good anxious where you know, you're like on edge and you're nervous and you're excited and you're tense about what's going on in a book. That's like a good anxious. That means you're feeling something and you're in the book and it's a emotional ride. But when it comes to like missing children in book or babies that get harmed and stuff like that, it gives me like a bad anxious, like I just get this like pit in my stomach, bad anxious feeling. So I was just kind of nervous about reading The Surrogate Mother, but everything was fine. The novel takes place while the surrogate mother is pregnant. So all the crazy stuff that goes on in this book is while the mother is pregnant, and I don't know, it was really good. The first half of the book was a little slow, I'm not gonna lie. The first half of the book, there's not much going on. You're just kind of, you know, going along this ride with the main character. But wow, the last half of this book, I could not put down. I wanted to keep reading. I didn't want to put my book down. I couldn't wait to get back to pick the book up when I got a chance. And I just flew through the last half of the book. I thought it was very entertaining. There were twist and then more twist to combat the first twist, and I'm not want to give anything away, but it was just really good. It was just a very solid thriller. I really enjoyed it, and you know, this has just been a really great vlog. I have really enjoyed reading all three of these Freida books, and The Surrogate Mother was really surprising. I was surprised how much I really enjoyed this book, since I was kind of nervous about starting it. To summarize all three books really quickly, I read The Crash arc on my tablet. I read Physically the Boyfriend, and then I read Surrogate Mother on the tablet, and I just loved all these books. I just loved them all. I don't know. The Crash was so good at the end. I think, in my opinion, The Crash had the best ending of all 3 books. The Crash, hands down, has the best ending, in my opinion. I would say overall, as far as like enjoying the entirety of the book, I liked the boyfriend the most. I was just really really into this book all the way through. There were no slow parts. There was nothing slowing me down. There was no hindrance to my reading with this. Like, I really liked this book, solid all the way through. But then Surrogate Mother was just so surprising. It was a surprisingly good read. And I don't know why. I mean, maybe that's my fault because I had such low expectations, and I shouldn't, because it's a Freida book, right? I mean, she is Freida McFadden. I don't know. They all 3, very, very enjoyable, all 3 of them, and they all got me in different ways. So, there you have it. I really enjoyed all 3 of these books. I'm really curious to know what Jen thinks. We've talked a little bit about the books, but I haven't really got an idea of how she really feels about all of them yet. So I'm very, very curious to talk to her and see what she thinks about the books. And I just can't wait. Now, you guys, I need to know, what are we going to read in January when The Crash releases? Because we've already read The Crash. So what are we going to read? I need you guys to tell me, what should we read in January? Because Freida's going to put out a book and we're going to need to do a vlog, but the book that's coming out's already read. So come on. I'd like your suggestions in the comments below. Let me know, what books do you think we should read in January?
We always enjoy doing the Freida vlogs, and I'm not sure when we're going to do the next one. We still have several to read. So I'm sure we're probably going to do one in like January, even though we read The Crash already. That's when that one comes out. And though we are declaring January Dragon January, since Onyx Storm is going to be coming out.
Y'all, I am so excited for Dragon January. I cannot wait. I have already started collecting books that I want to read in January that have dragons in them. And of course, Onyx Storm, but that comes out at the end of January, around the 21st. So excited. I need books to read before. So I have accumulated some books that I plan on reading. I know Jen's probably not as excited because she's not a big fantasy reader as I am, but super excited. In January, I am reading almost all my books will probably be dragon books. Super excited about that.
We may have to make a little bit of room for another Freida vlog because I can't go too long without reading some. Maybe we'll do it for Christmas, like a present to ourselves, and we'll read a couple Freida. Maybe she'll release something. Who knows? She tends to love to surprise her fans. So we may end up finding out there's something that she'll release that we get to read. I hope so. Thanks for watching as we read these 3 Freida books. We have many Freida vlogs if you haven't seen, and if you've seen all of them, thank you very much because it's a lot of them. Stay tuned for lots more vlogs from us, and The Crash just disappeared from. Thanks for watching, and until next time.